Attention passionate Atlanta Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another championship run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before we dive in, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and fellow Atlanta Falcons fans. Let's get to the news. So folks, if you've been paying attention around the NFL lately, you know that the offseason is never just about free agency and draft picks anymore. No, it's about strategic moves, trade rumors, and sometimes, shockingly, high-profile quarterback swaps that can completely alter the landscape of divisions. And right now, one of the biggest stories that has been floating around, it's about a trade that could shake up the NFC South and honestly the entire NFC playoff picture. And that involves none other than a quarterback who has been making waves, not just with his talent, but also with some of the off-field and off-season drama. Yes, I am talking about Kenny Pickett. Now, why Kenny Pickett? Well, it's because there's a lot of buzz, some of it speculative, some more grounded that he might be heading to the Atlanta Falcons. And folks, if that happens, it could be one of the most underrated yet critical moves of this offseason. Let me tell you why. But first, let us set the scene what's actually going on behind the scenes. The Cleveland Browns, a team that has been trying to find consistency at quarterback for years, currently have a crowded room. They've got Deshaun Watson, who is the unquestioned starter, but behind him they rejuggling a handful of quarterbacks: Joe Flacco, Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, and of course, the rookie sensation in the making. But with training camp approaching rapidly, roster cuts are inevitable. It's just part of NFL life, and here's where it gets interesting. The Browns, with their roster flexibility, are expected to cut at least one quarterback before the start of the season. And the most logical candidate for a trade? It's Kenny Pickett. Now, I want to clarify, this is not a confirmed report. No, this is a prediction, a scenario that's making rounds in NFL circles. But it's one that makes a lot of sense for multiple reasons. For one, Pickett is still on his rookie contract, which means the Falcons wouldn't have to worry much about cap space. For another, Pickett has shown he has got starting potential, especially during his 2 seasons with the Steelers, where he demonstrated flashes of ability, especially as a passer and as a leader, even if he is still working on reducing turnovers, particularly interceptions. But why would the Falcons be interested? Well, let us look at their current quarterback situation. They're coming off a season that was a roller coaster, with questions at the position that still linger. They signed Kirk Cousins in free agency, a veteran who has proven he can be a reliable starter. But then, as the offseason unfolded, rumors started swirling that Cousins might not be long for Atlanta. See, the Falcons, in their infinite quest to build a winning team, have been linked to trades involving Kirk Cousins, especially as he has been linked to other teams like the Cleveland Browns, due to his connection with head coach Kevin Stefanski. And here's the thing, Cousins is a free agent after this season, and if the Falcons decide to move on, trading him could give them a better draft pick or additional assets. But here's the kicker: if the Falcons trade Kirk Cousins, they need a reliable backup or even a potential starter to back up second-year phenom Michael Penix Jr. Look, Penix is talented, there's no denying that. He has shown flashes of brilliance, and he has the future for Atlanta. But he is still relatively unproven at the NFL level, and injuries or a bad week can happen. That's where Kenny Pickett comes in. The guy is experienced. He has shown he can run an NFL offense, and he is still on a rookie deal, meaning it wouldn't blow up the Falcons' salary cap. Think about it. Last season, Pickett played in 5 games for the Eagles as Jalen Hurts' backup, throwing for 291 yards, 2 touchdowns, and just 1 interception. Not bad for a guy still early in his career. And what's more, he has got a proven track record as a starter with the Steelers, where he has been tasked with leading the team through ups and downs. The key thing for Pickett is to cut down on interceptions, something he is working on. But his talent is undeniable, and he has got that leadership trait that NFL teams covet. Now, let us talk about the Falcons' strategic advantage here. If they acquire Pickett, they get a backup with starting experience, someone who can step up if Penix Jr. were to get injured or just hit a rough patch. Plus, Pickett is on his rookie contract, which means the Falcons aren't sacrificing much cap space, an important factor in today's NFL, where managing the salary cap is almost like playing chess. But beyond that, Pickett's presence adds a level of stability and competition, which is essential for any NFL team trying to make a deep playoff run. But of course, there is more to this story. The rumors also involve the possibility of Kirk Cousins being traded, and one of the teams that has been mentioned is the Cleveland Browns. Why? Well, Cousins has a connection with Kevin Stefanski, the Browns head coach, who has been known for maximizing veteran quarterback strengths. Plus, the Browns are in a bit of a quarterback limbo. Deshaun Watson is their guy, but he is coming off a tumultuous season. And the backup options Joe Flacco and others are more seasoned backup types rather than long-term solutions. Trading for Kirk Cousins could be a move that benefits both sides. For Cousins, it has a chance to start fresh, to be a franchise QB again, and to showcase his talent on a team that has been competitive in recent years. For the Browns, it provides that experienced quarterback they need, especially to guide younger players like Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, and to give them a contingency plan if Watson hits any speed bumps. And for the Falcons, well, trading Cousins would free up cap space and give them a more flexible approach heading into the season. Now, I know what some of you are probably thinking, hold on, what about the draft pick compensation? Wouldn't that be costly? And yes, trades usually come at a price. But considering Pickett is still on his rookie contract, the Falcons could negotiate a deal that asks more about future picks or conditional picks, rather than a steep exchange of assets. Plus, a veteran like Pickett could be a valuable insurance policy, especially in a division as competitive as the NFC South. You've got the Saints, the Panthers, and the Buccaneers all vying for a playoff spot. Having a dependable backup or even a potential starter in Pickett could be the difference between falling short and making a deep postseason run. And let us not forget the bigger picture here. The NFC South has been a bit of a wild card for the past few seasons. The Saints have had their moments with Derek Carr, the Buccaneers are trying to rebuild around Baker Mayfield, and the Panthers are still figuring out their identity with a new coaching staff. The Falcons, with their young core and strategic moves, are positioning themselves to be contenders, but they need to get this quarterback situation right. Acquiring Pickett would not only provide stability, but also inject some youthful energy and potential for growth. Now, back to the trade specifics. If the Falcons do indeed pursue Pickett, they'll likely need to include some draft capital, maybe a future pick or a conditional selection based on performance. But again, the upside is worth it. A player like Pickett, who has shown he can run an NFL offense effectively, could be a cornerstone if things go right. And in a league where quarterbacks can make or break your season, having a reliable backup who can step in and perform is invaluable. And I want to highlight one more thing: Pickett's leadership qualities. He has already demonstrated maturity beyond his years, and he is hungry to prove himself. That kind of mentality is exactly what the Falcons need as they aim to climb the NFC standings. Plus, with the right coaching staff and weapons around him, Pickett could blossom into a legitimate starter with consistent production. Now, I know some of you are probably wondering, what about the fans? How would this move be received? And honestly, it depends. Some might see it as a gamble, trading away a young quarterback with potential. But others will recognize the strategic value getting a dependable veteran with starting experience and flexibility. It's all about the bigger picture. The Falcons are trying to build a team that can compete now and in the future, and sometimes that means making tough decisions. And speaking of tough decisions, let us talk about what happens if the Falcons do trade for Pickett and also move on from Kirk Cousins. That would leave them with a quarterback room that is still a bit untested at the NFL level, but with a high upside backup in Pickett. It also signals a shift towards a more competitive, win-now mindset. Remember, NFL teams are always balancing cap management, player development, and immediate needs. This move, if it happens, will be a bold step in that direction. And I want to wrap up this part of the story by emphasizing that the NFL offseason is full of surprises. Trades happen all the time, and sometimes they come out of nowhere. What's important is to stay informed, stay engaged, and keep your eyes peeled for official announcements. Because at the end of the day, moves like these, whether they reconfirmed or just rumors, set the tone for the upcoming season. And for us Falcons fans, it's all about hope, strategy, and that relentless drive to bring home that Super Bowl trophy once again. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Atlanta Falcons news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let's continue with the big reveal. So, wrapping this all up, what's the bottom line? Well, if the rumors are true and the Falcons do pull the trigger on acquiring Kenny Pickett, it would be a masterstroke of team building. It would give them a flexible, capable backup or even a future starter, while also freeing up cap space and adding some much-needed depth at the quarterback position. It's a move that could pay dividends in the long run, especially as they try to solidify their place in the NFC playoff picture. And for us fans, it's an exciting time. We're on the edge of change. And who knows, this could be the move that propels Atlanta back into the postseason and beyond. Keep your eyes open, stay tuned for official news, and remember this is just the beginning of what could be an incredible season for the Falcons. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What is your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Falcons. Do you think a trade for Kenny Pickett makes sense? Or do you believe the team should stick with their current quarterback room? Either way, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and deep dives into everything Atlanta Falcons. Until then, keep the faith, stay passionate, and let us get ready to soar once again.